Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to our Late-Night LOKA podcast, episode 18.
Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up?
Welcome
to our Late-Night
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. We just want to encourage you, keep on supporting us, keep on sharing. Join us, subscribe if you haven't, share the word so people can subscribe on YouTube. Red Angeles. On my Instagram, Manuk_LOKA, and also on my YouTube, LOKA, all capital, LOKA 818. We have very exciting show for you tonight. We have a few updates, information, some events that's happening in the near future. And we do have a very, very lovely guest, a good friend of mine, a great patriot. She was supposed to be my first guest on my first episode. Things didn't work out, so she's here on the 18th episode. I can't wait to introduce you guys, and let's open the show. Without any further ado, my brother, what's up? Adam Vina sitting in for Edgar and Eileen.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody knows Adam. What's up, Adam? How you doing? Good?
How are you? Everything is good, man.
That's right. Just speak to the mic, brother. Speak to the mic.
Just hanging out. I appreciate you having me on, fill in for a little bit here. And I look forward to the guest and just hanging out and talking. So...
And let's introduce our guest. Our guest is from Sacramento. She is a patriot. She's a mom. She's a hero to me, man. She's a tough mama bear. So let's introduce my girl Paisley. What's up, Paisley? How you doing?
Hi, y'all. Good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to our show. I know we have done a few lives together, but this is the podcast, so this is the first time you're on our podcast, and I want to welcome you and thank you for taking the time at this time of the night to join us on our podcast. So, welcome.
No problem.
A few words to introduce yourself, please.
I'm a mama bear patriot from NorCal. I used to work in the schools, so I have some well-grounded experience working with children. And since I've had my son, I have stepped away from the school system, given what's been going on in our system and how they want to operate and how they prefer to treat our kids. And so now here I am, mama bear, doing football pretty much full time now, and just looking to help educate other patriots and keep everybody aware of what is going on and why things are going on. So, as always, just here to help.
Are you homeschooling?
I am doing an online charter school with my son, yes. So he is home and he is monitored 24/7, and so are his teachers. And I am definitely not afraid to tell his teachers that subject he's going to be sitting out for.
Amen. Paige, before we go on, and because I do have a few topics I want to talk to you,
Sure.
and because I know you're all America first, and you know, but Adam has few announcements that he wants to make. A couple of things that's happening these few weeks in the month of October. So I'm just going to turn over the mic to Adam and let him do his thing real quick.
Awesome.
So.
Thank you, Manuk. I appreciate you giving me a few minutes to come on and promote these two things. So as we all know that the last few years we have lost about 325,000 kids at our southern border. DHS and the United States government does not know what has happened to 325,000 kids, which is mind-boggling. That number is huge. So what we're doing on October 23rd is we're going to have a candlelight vigil for these 300,000 plus kids that have been lost at the southern border. And it's going to be nationwide. Right now we're in the works trying to get 50 cities to join. Right now we've got about 15. As of right now, we've got Boston, Huntington Beach, Jacksonville, Florida, Lancaster, Las Vegas, Live Oak, California, Long Island, New York, Miami, Nashville, my hometown, not my hometown, but a town close to me, Pasadena, Phoenix, the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, and Salt Lake City. We just added San Diego onto that list. So right now it's all in the works to just bring remembrance to the children that have been lost at the southern border. And no, we're just going to have a candlelight vigil, no speakers, nothing like that. We're just going to hang out in front of the Capitol, not in the Capitol, but in front of City Hall in my area. Some are going to be done in churches, and so on and so forth. And we're just going to have a remembrance for the children that have been lost. And it's really hard to understand how such a great country of ours can lose track of such a large number of children and not know where they are. As we all know, they could be anywhere. They could be in foster care system. They could be trafficked. They could be in slave labor. They could be in a whole host of other things, and not know where those children are is quite heartbreaking, especially as we're all parents. And we want to know where our kids are 24 hours a day, and these poor kids have been completely lost to a system, and it's really, really sad. So that's October 23rd. It's going to be from 7:30 to 8:30 on the 23rd of October, and it will just be out of remembrance. And then also, if you guys are in the Denver area, there's going to be a Stop the War on Kids rally in Denver, Colorado. We've got some great speakers. I will be speaking. It's going to be a quick trip for me. I'll be up there probably less than 24 hours to speak. And again, we're going to bring awareness to the gender ideology that's going on in our schools, parental alienation, like what's going on in my case. And we're going to talk about a whole host of things. So we've got a lot of people speaking at this rally in Denver, and it should be a really good turnout.
When is that?
That's this weekend, October 5th in Denver, Colorado. So if you're in Denver, Colorado, come on out, show your support, and listen to some of the most amazing speakers that you're going to hear really talk about parental rights. As we all know, parental rights is at a forefront here in California. We've had AB 1955 recently pass, which is keeping secrets from parents. And I'm sure all of us want to know if our kids stub their toe, we want to know about it. As something as minor as stubbing the toe, we want to know about it. We've got, 665, 957, SB 107 that makes California a transgender sanctuary state. So we want to bring awareness to these bad bills that are being passed here in California, and that's also trickling down into smaller towns, smaller areas. I just had I did a live with the grandparents whose granddaughter let them know that there was a boy that thought he was a girl, and he is now allowing to be changing in the girls' locker room. And when the granddaughter spoke out against it, they told the granddaughter that, well, if you don't feel comfortable, you can either change in the nurse's room or you can change in the varsity girls' locker room. And that was it. And so we did I did a live with the grandparents, and they did an absolutely amazing job speaking out at the school board meeting, and that was in Nevada, a very rural town in Nevada. So if you don't think it's happening in your town, it's slowly trickling into the smaller communities, the smaller neighborhoods. So we need to be hyper vigilant as parents, and we need to listen to what our kids are telling us, and we need to show up to school board meetings.
And I happen to know the same grandparents you're talking about. Amazing people. Shout out to my boy Travis. What's up, my boy Liz, my sister.
Hammerlock.
Hammerlock, rock and roll. If you're not following, please follow. It's an amazing thing. I know you know also Sarah Stevens. Mm-hmm. She called me today early in the morning, gave me an incredible news that some big-time people got together and they're trying to buy this prison women's prison that went out of business, and with the movie Sound of Freedom, people, they joined forces, and they're going to turn this prison into all these children that have been found and they haven't been located, their families, and they don't know who they are. They're going to house these children, and they're going to raise a foundation, raise money this coming weekend, October 12th. I mean, what an amazing thing you're just saying right now. And Sarah calling, this is God putting puzzles together. And for those people who really say God don't exist, or da-da-da, Manuk is just saying this and that, hey man, look, you know, one thing, everything's coming together. So I'm also invited to go up there. It's in Lakewood or something.
Yeah.
It's up north. It's by you.
Yeah. And the other great, it's funny that
It's by you, right? Lake something?
Yep.
Lakewood?
Yeah, you're up here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it out there to be on the telethon, but I'm going to really try to go up there.
And we all know Seek Smith, the founder of Mom Army. She created, it's funny you brought that up, because with that, Mom Army is partnering up with that church that is opening that shelter for kids. And she has created a box called the Hope Box. And I don't know all the details that go into the Hope Box, but what it is a care package that you give to these kids that are coming into theirs, and it's called the Hope Box. And she's raising money to create more of these Hope Boxes to give to these kids that are coming into the shelter.
Yeah, so it's a very great thing for people to be involved. If you, I'm going to share the link where on October 12th you can watch the telethon and donate whatever you want, $5, $10, you know, like we care for all children. I'm going to try to drive out there actually to be on the telethon and speak, and maybe I could see you, Pace. I'm just down the street from you, right? You know, we could even have you come on, you know. But I really want to talk to you about America. About what's happening in America, what's happening in our politics, and what's happening to our people. How safe are we? And I mean, is this the country that I escaped communism to come to? And if it is, then are you serious? You know? So we all know what happened in North Carolina, Florida, Pennsylvania, I think. And no one's helping, no one's doing nothing. We don't see nothing in the media. Just like Maui is going to be hidden secret, and the vice president who's running for a presidency, the only thing they could offer to our people is $750. That's all our people are worth, you know, like... honestly, it's...
Mind you, that's not per person, that's per family.
Per family. Like, if your family is like 5, like 6, like mine, we only get $750. and if you're a migrant, like illegal, you get like $5,000 automatic, brand new phone, and an apartment for 2 years for free. You know, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It really is. And that was one thing that really stuck out to me, is through all these channels of the people helping the people, they have begun to infiltrate these channels and these avenues of fundraising and finding goods for these people. And it is now being taken by our government and being given to the migrants. So when you go out and you guys are donating, or you guys are giving goods or sending it or shipping it, please be very careful and very mindful of where you are sending it. There are very specific channels of people who are accepting these donations for them to actually get to these people. So if you can, if you're close enough to drop it off at one of these donation centers yourself, that would be your best bet. But from what I'm being told, even our own National Guard is not being deployed. They will not let them go to assist. They're being held and not allowed to leave. And even with my own family over in Arkansas right now training to come back, who is military, they're not asking them to do a damn thing. So that should scare every American, that our resources that should be directed to our people are being completely removed from us.
Yeah. The other thing I've been told is that don't donate to the Red Cross. I've heard that people need to donate to either like a mom and pop's donation center, or I think it's called Samaritan Purse. Is that what it's called? For donation, because they know that the donations will actually get to the people that need the money. So I don't know.
But at this time of day and second, I'm not able, and I know many Americans like me, we're not able to donate anything. We have nothing to donate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have work. It's very scarce to make money. It's everything's high. You have like $300. You walk into the grocery store. You walk out with just 2 small bags, and you're like, where did my money go? And now you want to help this. I want to help them, but shit, like. How many billions have we sent to Ukraine, and how many billions we're going to send to Israel, and how many billions are we going to send through to all these other countries? And when it comes time to, I'm not saying, this is not even veterans and homeless no more.
Right.
Like you have discarded these people for many years right now. Now you're talking about hardworking Americans who got their whole life destroyed. If you go in the dark in Google Map and you look at America, this part of the country is black.
Yeah.
For like already 4 days. There's no power. No one cares.
Right.
I
think a lot of people are going to be able to resonate with that. We all feel that we want to reach out and be compassionate and help in some way, but we are all tied up. So what I'm doing personally, and I think a lot of this could help some of you, is I'm taking clothes that I no longer fit in or I no longer use. My son has clothes that he no longer fits in, and we're taking those. They're gently used. Shoes, blankets, pillows, anything that we're not using anymore or that is not going to be something that's going to hurt me to get rid of. Those are the items that I'm sending to donate, because I know that there's children. I know that there's people who've been in the same clothes for days on end, and that's all they want to do is just have some kind of comfort, even if that's secondhand clothes. So if that is something that you guys can do, that would be great. But, just even little things like that, things that you would never think that would be, something that you would donate, to a crisis like this. Even the simplest things, candles. If you have extra candles around the house, extra batteries, just anything really that you are able to spare would be helpful, even just a little bit.
Yeah. And I think this is a real eye-opening situation for us to look at and go, wait a second, if living here in California, if we do get hit by an earthquake, we need to understand that we might not have assistance, and we, again, with North Carolinians, they're able to take care of themselves. I guarantee you, if the FEMA never came in there, they would be able to figure it out, and they would know what to do to protect the community and help the community. But here in California, I think it should be a real big eye-opener for all of us. And stockpile, I don't know what you think about that, stockpile on rice, beans, just the bare essentials, knowing that there could not be someone out there to help us if something happened to us.
There was I saw this post or reel on Instagram today. Unfortunately, I didn't send it to Christian, that could have pulled it up on the screen, but we couldn't have because you're on the screen right now. Anyways, but it said that this chopper is flying by a captain and a co-pilot, right? And it's father and son. So they see these 2 elderly couple in the mountains, barricaded. So they come down, and because of the train and everything, they can't take too many people. So he leaves his son behind, takes the wife, and takes her back. And the fire chief tells him that, hey, if you go back and bring back any more people, I'm going to arrest you. You're interfering. And he's all like, you know what, you could arrest me all you want, but I'm not going to abandon my co-pilot. I'm not going to bring that man back, but I'm not going to abandon my co-pilot, which happens to be my son. So he flew and got his son back. And then he was like, now I got to tell this man that hey, even though I could take you, even though I'm here to take you, but I'm not going to take you because if I do, then I'm going to get arrested. You know, um, I'm just so shocked right now. You know, I'm lost for words. This is beyond you're. They said you're a liberal, like or a feminist, BLM. This is not
This is
that.
pure negligence. This is
This
beyond
is
any of
like
that. This is just pure
you
negligence.
just want your people to die.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want these people? I saw another thing that it was like children are stuck in the mud. They can't get out. They can't move, you know. It's heartbreaking, bro.
Well, and the scary thing is they're no longer asking for resources because so many people have donated. The top things that are being asked for now are body bags of all things, because they are saying that there are bodies in the trees, in the mud, in their cars, in their homes, just everywhere. The cadaver dogs can't even discern between what is alive and what is dead anymore because there is so much death over there. And that should be absolutely heartbreaking. And you would think that your government would step in, but of course not. You know, they are too busy with their government deals. And if you guys aren't aware, the area that was hit is right where a huge lithium mine is and a quartz mine. And your government just signed a huge deal with that lithium mine to start mining in 2025. Now, if we remember how Lahaina went, we know that that was a land grab. And if we're paying attention, this is just about to be the same thing. Water damage, you can get those houses for next to nothing. And those poor people are not going to get what they deserve for their properties.
Most of these people don't even have insurance for flood and hurricanes because they would
They're in the mountains. A lot of these people are in the mountains.
You know, they would never think that I got earthquake, I got everything. I don't think I got flood because I would never think my house would get flooded in California.
No. My dad just told me he canceled his earthquake insurance.
No, man, I made sure my insurance agent said, why do you need all this? I said, you know what? You never know what could happen because God forbid something happens.
Right.
And then you don't have insurance, then they're going to give you the $750 check. But people in Ukraine, they're balling, bro. They're balling out of control. You know, like they don't have no homeless. Their city looks beautiful. You know, and in this Israel is another one. Like they're asking for war. They're bombing and attacking everybody, and they're saying, why are they attacking us? Like, how many times you gonna have me slap you? And you don't want me to slap, I don't want to get slapped back. You know, like, doesn't work like that, bro. Like, it doesn't work like that. I know I'm with, all these bombings, Iran bombed, like, big time. I'm very sad. You know, my heart breaks because people died. That day people died. As much as they don't say nothing about it, Israel is not confirming nothing. But I know when a bomb falls, people die.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're Israeli people. I don't care if they're Palestinian people. I don't care who they are. People are people. They're dying. Children are dying. You know why? Because two arrogant countries, two arrogant people want to say who can... No, man, stop. You know, I don't want to see wars. You know, I'm against wars. You killing Palestinians is the same as you bombing Israel.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm all like, hey, bro, you know, if you keep on bombing these people, one of these days they're going to say, you know what, let's just bomb them back and see what happens, you know? And I think we're going to go to World War III, and I have a feeling we're not even going to have an election, bro.
Yeah.
To be honest, November 5th is not going to come.
It's funny you say that because I was talking to a friend of mine today who has military experience, and that was exactly his words, that if Israel and Iran keep going with this whole bombing each other, if any of those bombs land on our soil, we will not have an election. And the American people need to realize that. All this money is going over there to fund this war, but little do the American people realize you are funding the end of our country if you continue. This needs to stop.
Yep.
State of emergency would lock everything down, bro. State of emergency, you cannot elect president. Whoever's in charge will stay in charge until everything dies out. And by the time it dies out, listen, what are they have been doing for the past 10 years? Like, yeah, Trump was in office for the 4 years out of that 10 years, but the past 10 years, the 12 years more like, they're trying to strip us from all our rights to speak, to bear arms, to defend ourselves, to protest, to do all this stuff, right? And they're giving all these opportunities to this other side, saying you can do whatever you want. But to us, the real patriot, the real Americans, they're stripping us from everything we have, right? And what has happened in 1976, I think it was, Civil War, they stripped us from they bared our guns, you know?
Right.
And then they tried to take over. The same thing happened with you want to take over someone with Armenian genocide, you know? They stripped the men from their families. They sent them to front lines to die. They got rid of the young adults, right? The weapons.
Yeah.
And then they attacked the elderly and slaughtered them, right? So it's the same thing, you know? Like, you get their guns, you get their freedom of speak, and you attack them.
Right.
And they have nothing to defend themselves until they, you know, like with rocks and sticks and stones, you know, this is what we're going to deal with. So, I mean, I personally cannot carry, I personally cannot own, I personally cannot be around any of this stuff, but I encourage everybody to protect themselves, bro. I mean, I can't do with firearms, but I could protect myself with a lot of other things, such as security cameras, security detail, armed security patrol around my property, you know, like I got it covered. I'm not even tripping, but still, why would I need that? You know, the most strongest, freest country in the world, I have to watch myself not being attacked.
Right. Well,
seriously?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they put it number 2. You know, First Amendment and then the Second Amendment. There's a reason why they put the Second Amendment number 2, you know, and I don't know.
I heard a funny joke about that one. Maybe you guys heard it too. He said, our founding fathers came up with the amendments. The First Amendment they came up with said you can say anything you want.
Right.
And then they came up with the second one. Just in case, you better get yourself a gun.
Yeah. And I think I saw the same thing. He said, man, this country is going to be, I think he said, this country is going to be legit, something like that. So, you know, I want to go back to, you know, natural disasters. You know, President Bush, you know, say what you will about him. He didn't talk about, you know, New Orleans for 3 days, and he was ridiculed for 3 freaking days. That's 3 days. He was ridiculed for 3 days because he didn't speak about it. And we haven't heard anything from the Biden-Harris at all for, what, a week? I've got so much going on that it's hard for me to keep track of everything that's going on. But no news organizations have ridiculed them, have gone after him. I mean, it took him a week just to step foot in North Carolina. You could have gone to Tennessee on the outskirts and at least done a press conference, because I know Tennessee, I mean, but I don't like Bush at all, but, you know, he was ridiculed because it took him 3 days. So,
you know, we sent $115 billion to Ukraine, bro.
I know.
Right.
I know.
What do you think they're going to say?
I did see of Biden talking about anything on the East Coast. One reporter did call him out and say, why haven't you? Why are you not talking about it? As he's exiting the building. And he turns around and says, I've been on the phone for 2 hours about it. And I was on the phone about it 2 hours yesterday. And that's supposed to suffice while you sit on the beach and people are dying?
Yeah.
This is your country. Are you kidding?
Yeah. And then he said, what storm? He did an interview. Someone interviewed, and he said, what storm? Oh, and then he had to go back. I'm like, dude, You've got to be absolutely kidding me. Like, you can't be, I don't think you can be that, you can be incompetent, but I don't think you can be that incompetent to question a storm? I don't know.
Bro, like what can you accept from a man who said if you want to get saved from a hurricane, you got to get vaccinated?
I know.
I mean, this is the same guy who said that the hurricane will skip your house if you are vaccinated. You'll be saved. I mean, I wasn't expecting much, but we have senators, we got Congress, we got all these people. Like, we got our governors, they can send help. FEMA and Red Cross are saying we got no money. We send everything to Israel and Ukraine. Our governor is saying we got no help, no resources, no firemen, no nothing. We defunded everybody. We got no one to send. Like, seriously, bro. Like, when the Northridge earthquake happened, you know how many people came from all around the states to help us out and get all these people, Like, we came all together, and now we're just, and even if you go to help, they're not allowing you.
Right.
This is worse than Maui. Maui was like far, it's like you got to take a plane ride over there. In North Carolina and stuff, you could drive, it's like car ride, the bus ride. But they're not allowing you. You go there, they're like, get the hell out of here. We don't need you.
Yeah.
And if you do help, you get arrested or something,
Yeah.
You're right. Right. They're punishing you for helping. And remember how I always joked about, if they're going to make us do the electrical cars, I'll just go get my horse and I'll have the center divide. Like, screw you guys. The scary part is now they are putting toxic chemicals in the horse feed and killing the horses. Excuse me, but for a countryman, that is our transportation. You are now taking a means of transportation that can be used on the East Coast to trek around in those mountains, and you are poisoning them.
Yeah.
And they are no longer going to have those horses to be able to go and pull things out of the land areas that are trapped. Those horses can pull those trees out. They can pull cars out. They can go places where the vehicles cannot go. They can go into the woods where the helicopters cannot see. And now those animals are being poisoned. I mean, when will they stop? They're not going to stop.
No.
If they're taking our funding, they're taking our donations, they're killing any means of transportation, killing any type of help. This is deliberate.
Yeah.
And like I said, don't forget that lithium mine, because this is 100% a land grab, and they don't care about the people. I've pinned it on my page. Kamala said it herself. This is all about reducing the population. 100%.
It's starting to look that way. It really is. It really is. I still keep a pretty open mind about a lot of things, but some of the stuff is starting to really, really go down that population control.
And so much exposure, so much people exposing everybody. Still, nothing is happening to nobody.
Right.
Like the Epstein files, Epstein Island, now P. Diddy. All these people coming forward, all this evidence, all this proof, and no one is being accountable for. Nothing's happening. Dr. Fauci is trying to kill all these people. Bill Gates is trying to depopulate the population. Like, seriously, bro, nothing's happening to no one.
No.
Like, why do we even try? Why do we even care? It's only us. Like, if you do something wrong and you're a regular person who has a 9-to-5 job and barely making ends meet, guess what? They're going to give you a citation. They're going to give you penalties. They're going to charge you overdraft fees. They're going to do all this stuff. But if you don't have nothing to show for and you're just this bum, guess what? You get to live off of the government for free, get all the benefits, get everything. It's not fair, bro. It's not fair. Like, today I had to go and work with my boy Miran, and we made a couple of $100, and I'm so tired that I had to come here, and I was like, I have to, I cannot miss this podcast, especially my girls coming, I get to see this beautiful face and everything, but, like, and I'm barely making it, and to think I might get pulled over for a seatbelt and get citation, and then I would have to go and pay, and if I don't pay and I get penalized, And if I ever say I don't have the money, send me to jail, they're going to send me to jail and make sure I sit in jail for 5-6 days when someone just done sold a child, got a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Selling a child, and if you get caught selling a child, a minor, is a misdemeanor in California. So, I mean, seriously, like, where are we at? Like, you know, I'm just, I don't know, maybe the best thing, like my boy Narek said today, man, is Russia is opening its arms to people, and it's giving you all the freedom, all the opportunities, and they're right in the head. They're right with God, you know, because, and it's gonna take a miracle, and like I really truly believe we're not gonna have an election. I really think that even if we elect Donald Trump our president, he's never gonna step a foot in the White House. I don't think they're gonna do something, and everything's gonna crumble, bro. Because imagine how many bombs have been dropped in the last month. Like Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Beirut, Lebanon, Iran. Everybody's dropping bombs, bro. Palestine. Seriously, you know?
Yeah.
I think they're just running out of options at this point. They know desperately that the people, the common people, the majority of the world are realizing and awakening to what they have been doing for so long. And they're just desperate to keep their power and their control. This is how greedy and evil these people are. And I know a lot of people don't like to deep dive and do the conspiracy research, but that's my jig. Like I love that stuff because I'm a queerist. I love to question things. I want to know more. I want to know, why is it happening? Why would these people do these things? But again, if you look at what's going on over there in North Carolina, and I'm sure this goes internationally as well, you know, when people are in a desperate situation, in Lahaina, when these government officials came in and denied them aid, they're on an island. You have to remember they have to pick their battles very carefully, right? Otherwise, resources will not be given to them. They're on an island, a volcanic island for that. But these people on the East Coast, this is significant history for our American country over there. These men and women have a long heritage there. And when those FEMA officials came in, when those government officials came in and denied them aid, those men and women beat the living life out of those people. They whooped their butt. And I think that our government forgets that on the homeland, it's a whole different ballgame here.
Yep.
We're not going to take this. And the people are hurting. We're tired of it. We've been going through a lot lately with this administration. And, you know, we were all kind of waiting for, when is it going to go off? When is the pin going to drop? When is that first shot going to ring out, right? And I think those people are starting to get to that point. And I think, Manuk, like you said, it's either going to be that first election that we're not going to have, and the people are going to uprise, or it's going to be that first bomb that hits our land, and we're going to have martial law, and it's going to be an all-out, absolute horror show.
Yeah.
And with what's already happening on the East Coast, we already have so much death and so much destruction over there. People also have to remember that's going to go into the land. That's going to be very toxic. There's going to be disease. I mean, we really have to, it is we the people for the people at this point. You cannot trust any other system.
No.
It is, you have to rely on each other. Talk about united right now. Forget politics, forget anything. It is 100%. We need to be protecting each other and working together regardless.
Yeah. I guarantee you, I think if FEMA never got involved, I think North Carolina would have been a lot better off. All the helicopters, people were coming together, getting the supplies, rescuing the people, and not one government agency was doing anything at the time. And then as soon as FEMA got involved, that's when the red tape, I think there's too much red tape when it comes to these type of things. There's way too much red tape. Let everyone work together. If you got a helicopter and you got supplies, fly in there and help. I follow this guy Cletus. He's a hot rodder out in Florida. He's got enough money. He's got his own helicopter. Him and his wife loaded their helicopter up and started flying missions into the backcountry of North Carolina, rescuing people, everything. That's what needs to take. Cut the red tape out and just rescue our people. That's it.
I'm looking at the big picture here. Everything is coming together at once, and we have the most epic election in the history of elections. Why we knew about Diddy years ago. Why arrest him now? Right? And right after you arrest Diddy, you have this horrible hurricane, right? Why? Like, what is it that they're trying to distract us from? And I'm just not ready to see the real reason why we're experiencing all this happening right now. It's not happening just because it's happening.
Right.
Have you HARP? I think it's called HARP, that thing. Bro, like, are you kidding me? We're like October and we have the biggest hurricane. It's not even winter season near or nothing. Like, I'm not like the people who do the weather thing. I don't know anything about weather, but I know that there's a such tool that you could create anything you want. And to have a hurricane at this time, like 30 days out from an election, Diddy just got popped.
Right.
Like, everything's just happening just right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying,
There's something
Well,
really.
you know what else I heard? Sorry, Adam.
No, go ahead.
You know what else I heard today that really kind of caught my attention, and I still haven't had time to look this up. Soros. He is buying up all the radio stations. Now, why would he want to buy up the radio stations? How do they control the weather?
Yeah.
Another means, again, you guys have to remember your televisions, your radios, your newspapers are all propaganda. They're all means and all ways to get into you, control your mind and your way of thinking. And a lot of us, at least those of us who are awake, we know it. We see it. When we see it, we're aware of it. But a lot of those people who are not aware don't understand that the music you listen to, the people that you talk to, even subtly in the background, they have frequencies that play. And they actually have, the cell towers are called Gwen towers. You can research this. There's patents on it. Gwen towers, all those big cell towers you see in your cities, all those cell towers you see along the highways, those can actually be used to control and manipulate your behavior and your thought process. And right now, with the way the East Coast is down, it almost is a godsend that those frequencies aren't going off with how bad they've been being attacked on the East Coast. If you think about it, those people over there have been bombarded with thing after thing after thing just happening. And again, like you said, why would they be doing all these things at once right at an election time? What are they trying to cover up? What are they trying to hide? And what has been the number one topic that people have been talking about since these migrants have been coming in? Has a lot to do with your children. Pay attention.
It's one thing before I'm sorry to interrupt you, Adam.
Not at all.
Everybody should get a CB radio. Everybody invest $50, $25 one, $100. They have a variety of them. You could get like $50 for two of them. Some of them are very short distance range. Some of them are a little longer distance. Doesn't matter. Once you have one of these, and we should all, as patriots, as people of United States people, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, we should all have survival channel where if something had to go down and we need to be in contact with each other, we know to jump on the CB radio, channel 1355 or whatever, and you're going to get some help or some information. You know what I mean? It's not big of an investment. This is not a survival thing. You can even have fun with your homies, with your friends, like in the weekend. Like, it's I remember when I was first phone I ever had, not the first, one old phone I had, it was called Nextel i90. It was a phone and a CB together. You would catch anything anywhere in California, in United States. I don't care where you were. You hit that chirp button.
I was just gonna
Hey,
say,
bro, you know, I don't know. You know why they got rid of that?
why?
Because they cannot monitor what you talk when you're tripping, when you're CB talking. It cannot be. It's not recorded. There's no evidence of the conversation.
Interesting.
So they were like, "Oh hell no, get rid of that phone."
Right, the I-90.
And then they have the I-95 that they could take pictures. Oh my God, bro! I swear.
Then you pushed the button on the side and it flipped up automatically.
Yes.
That was a nice one.
Yeah, that was the I-95. You know.
Yeah. I do have ham radio. I don't have my ham radio license, but I do have a ham radio. It's really good to have. Ham radio. The other thing that I was talking with a group of my friends about is getting to know your neighbors. Getting to know your neighbors and setting up a small community with your neighbors. So you have one guy that deals with nothing but, solar. You have one guy that deals with food. You have one guy that deals with medical. And you have another guy for communications. And if you can have 4 or 5 really close community people, when something like this hits, you know that, hey, I'm going to go to my neighbor. He's got the comms. Or you go, my other neighbor, we've got a bunch of freeze-dried food. We've got water, everything like that. Because, again, we're going to go back. No one's going to come and save us.
No one.
Exactly.
But communications is key. I got a question. So with George Soros buying up all the radio stations, do you think he's going to allow conservative talk radio to stay on, or do you think he's going to...
Absolutely not. Are you kidding? I mean, it'll be very washed down, because our news programs are.
Right.
I mean, and you've seen how Tucker's come off and said, even when we were talking conservative, we still weren't allowed to talk conservative.
Right.
We were only given a script. So, no, I think it's going to be complete and deliberate frequency. In my opinion, I think it's going to be used as a biological weapon, a weapon of war against the people to control and manipulate. 100%. It's going to be used as a weapon. We know that this man and his little minions that he's got his hands in with have done nothing but evil and horrendous things. And with all the money that these people have, you can't tell me that they couldn't donate a just small fraction to be helping and, assisting and absolutely nothing. You don't hear a word from them. But the one person you do see going out there and putting himself out in harm's way, as always, is Trump. He's out there. He's in the front. He's on the line. He's down there trying to do the best he can, knowing he could have his life taken at any moment because these people are desperate.
2024, baby.
Crazy.
And the only billionaire that I know that has really stepped up is Elon Musk.
Him too, exactly.
I think he's fed up with it. He is really, really fed up with what's going on, and he's really stood up too with not go down the rabbit hole, but he's really stood up with the whole gender stuff too. But I'm glad to see Elon Musk sending out, what's it called, Starlink, something like that. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
He's sending it out there to help the people
get communications.
At least get communications out, which is great.
Once I saw someone say these rich people have so much money, if they give $1 million to every person in the world, they will still be a billionaire and everybody will be a millionaire. You know what the problem with that is? That no one will take your garbage no more. No one will come clean your house. No one will recycle metal from the streets. No one will work at the gas stations. Everybody be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Everybody be a millionaire. And I'd be like, oh, hell, I ain't going to do none of that. But at the same time, to have these millionaires, these billionaires come on TV, this is where it kills me. I don't want you to give $1 million to everybody.
Right.
But you're a billionaire. You're coming on TV and telling me, oh, anything you send, it can be helpful. Please help the relief fund for North Carolina. Everybody needs your help. $5 will do. Seriously? You're asking a person who could barely afford milk for his children to pay up $5 when you are seeing billions and you can't even touch that money. You can't even spend that money in your lifetime. Not even your kids can spend that money in their lifetime. And you're asking me to send you $5. Seriously? Like, you should have said, hey, you know what? Here's $1 billion. Here's $1 billion. I have like 15 of them. Here's one for all these people.
Right.
Take care of them. I'll get mines.
Well,
Guess what? Tell
you
some
have
will
to
get
remember.
mines, you know? But
Yeah,
nah,
you have to remember,
bro.
though, these people tell you the truth out loud before they even do anything. They've already told you you're going to own nothing and be happy, right?
Yeah.
This is what they're doing. This is their plan. Take everything from you, leave you with nothing, and you'll be happy because you'll be doted on, right? They want to take care of you.
Right.
Sick.
Well, we saw what happened in Lahaina with you had Oprah Winfrey and The Rock asking people to donate, and you know, we're again.
And nothing happened to their house.
And don't get me wrong, I know, and you know, they worked their asses off to get to the point where they're at. You know, I'm not hating on them because they're billionaires. They worked their asses off to get to that point, but at the same time, come on, guys, you know.
Bro,
You don't hear nothing from Jeff Bezos. You don't hear nothing from the only billionaire that you're hearing from that's actually putting in work is Elon Musk. And whether he's a sheep in wolf clothing or however you want to say it, at least he's putting his money where his mouth is.
You know what's the deal with Elon Musk? I gotta give him. I mean, I'm not too much fan of what he's doing. As much as good he's doing some bad stuff too, you know, because he wants to put a chip in all of us. And I'm
Right.
like, what the hell's wrong with you, bro? Haven't you read the Bible? What's wrong with you, Elon? But at the same time, he's a parent who got hurt. He's a parent who got lied to. He's a parent who got deceived. And he's a billionaire. And he cannot believe it happened to him.
He's
Right.
pissed.
If it could happen to Elon Musk, and they turned his little boy into and made him into a little girl, and it's not flying and everything's turning upside down, he's pissed. You know, he's very pissed. And I'm just, you know, it could happen to the poorest person and it could happen to the richest person. You're not safe if you're not open-minded, if you're not involved with your children's life. If you're not constantly telling them you love them and they're beautiful and they're handsome and they're strong and they're courageous, believe me, the devil will go inside them and he will harm them. Please be involved with your children, man. I cannot stress this enough. You were saying, Paige?
No, to Adam's point, you know, when we talk about, I just completely lost track of my thought. Never mind. I'll pause.
I have that effect on people, Paisley. Don't.
Oh my goodness.
Well, and like I said, going back to what Manuk said, being involved in your family, it's time that we bring back the dinner table. And I say that anytime I end my speeches, whenever I talk anywhere, or if I'm talking on a live, I always end my conversation. It's time to bring back the dinner table. As much as I hated it when I was a kid, I wanted to stay outside and play. Now that I'm an old man with gray in my beard, I realize how important sitting at the dinner table with mom and dad and my brother was, because I was learning about my dad, I was learning about my mom, I was learning about my brother, and they were learning about me. They were learning about my life. And I think that's as scary as everything is with the phones, parents working a lot of time, not being able to keep a roof over their head. Just that simple 45 minutes at dinner, you could learn so much.
Something came to my head when you said bring back to the table feminism. I think it's evil. It's the most evilest destruction in the world. I'm sorry for I'm saying this. Females, you are strong. You don't need a man to tell you you are strong. You don't need society to tell you are strong. You are beautiful. You don't need Chanel and Dior and all this makeup to make you beautiful. You are beautiful no matter how. You are beautiful because you are a woman. You're not a man. Men are ugly. Women are beautiful. But we should never have given the woman the right to vote. Why? Because the day we did that, feminism was born. And what have they done? They have brought men into women's locker room, and they have told this lady that if you don't like it, go change over there. We're not getting rid of this boy changing in front of all of you. This is feminism. When
And for
two
those of
men
you
wanted
who
to
are
get married, and we as a society, we said, okay, let's give them that. They want to get married, let them get married. We were cool with that, right? We were cool with them before they got started getting married.
Right.
But we said, okay, what the hell? You want to get married, go get married. Guess what they said? Nah, we don't want that. We want to come after your children. We want to have a drug show. By the way, Pickle Dickle Mickle is having a show, and the ticket says no entry without a child. If you're a person, an adult, want to go hear Pickle Mickle Dickle read some
Pedophile.
stupid perverted book, you cannot enter if you don't have a child.
You're a pedophile.
So this is you know how they say marijuana is the gateway to all drugs? Well, all these things that I just mentioned were the gateway to all these horrible things that happen. You think gay people, the regular gay people, were ever imagining that if we ever tried to get married, this would happen? No. They just wanted to be happy, and they wanted to be married and whatnot. And we were like, okay, cool, go get married, whatever, I don't care. And then it turned out to this, they lost it. They lost control of the whatever movement they have. Just the way when women wanted to vote. Who voted for the women to vote? Men. Bunch of men came together and said, hey, let's vote for women to get to vote. Let's give them power. Guess what women did? They said, you know what? All women are equal to men.
Right.
Guess what? Now I'm a man. Let's go wrestle. And you have a man in UFC bashing another woman's skull, and he's all like, yeah, you like this? Yeah, I'm going to... Seriously, dude?
See, and that's the problem is, and my husband and I have this discussion a lot, and we've even talked to our son about it to see where his mindset was with it, because he's 10, he's going to be 11 now. So, he's getting into that position where he's going to start having to have these talks. And so we were talking about that and how, in my husband's eyes, he says that women tend to have an inherent evil within them. And he takes it back to the Bible. And, I tend to disagree with that a little bit. But to your point with the whole feminism thing, women need to remember that we are emotional creatures. Men are logical creatures. They're in a power position. You can't have that emotion. There's a good emotion to have is compassion. But when you get too emotional, you can be very reckless. And I think that's where this whole feminism has taken our country, is to a whole new emotional level. And it's gone way too far. Old school feminism was very different than what they are calling feminism now. And this feminism is very toxic, very scary, and very inherently evil. And, to your point, no, I don't want a female president. As a woman, I don't want her to be my leader. I would never vote for another woman just because she's a woman. I would not do it, because I know, as God has told me, my husband is my leader. If there's something that I want voted on and I didn't have the right to vote, that would be something I would sit and have a conversation with my husband and say, hey, this is how I feel about things. How do you feel? Come to a compromise. And that's how he would vote for me too, in my opinion. Right. Now, would that work for everybody? I don't know. But in my eyes, that's how God has asked me to follow, right? He wants me to follow my husband. If he represents our family, please listen to me at least and take into consideration how I feel about these things. Whether he logically decides that is something that would benefit us or not, that's up to him as my leader, right? Under God's eyes. But again, sometimes us women can get a little too emotional, and I agree with your point.
Paisley, being a woman, do you think that with everything that we've got going on with boys going into girls' sports, do you think more women would have stood up in the 60s and 70s against this? Or do you think it would be the same way it is now? Does that make sense?
I think, honestly, it would be the same way it is. Yeah, I think it would be the same way it is, only because I feel at that point, they were such at a high point, horrible time. And so it was just more kind of like everybody wanted to be jovial. And I don't think so, you know, and that's the scary part. And you have so many people who are so emotional right now, you know, in a heightened state and panicky. And I just don't think right now is a good time to be doing this, you know. And then with the atrazine, you know, a lot of people don't want to talk about their drinking water and why we have so many children who are turning into this transgender, you know, atrazine. There have been so many scientific studies done on it. If you go and have your water tested, LA, Sacramento, even my county up here in Colusa, you have extremely high levels of atrazine in your water. It is a pesticide that's used on crops. And in the scientific study, it took male frogs when they were given atrazine or put in water that had atrazine and it was absorbed into their body, they became hermaphrodites and they were able to reproduce on their own. And how else would you make a whole entire population defenseless? And how do you get rid of their men without having to completely eradicate them? Make them
add to your point. It came to a point where it became a fashion statement, bro.
Right.
This is a fashion statement, and it's amongst the elite, privileged, white, liberal women. They're the ones who are pushing all this. You know,
Yes.
they want to walk around with a little child. That's a boy pretending to be a girl, or a girl pretending to be a boy. Most likely, it's a boy pretending to be a girl. That's the most elite type. And if it's blue eyes, blonde hair, little boy, oh my God, that's like the Frenchy bulldog type. You know what I'm saying? I'm comparing to pets, but this is what these white, liberal, privileged women are pushing. And when I am, as a man, a father of 4 beautiful daughters, hey, girls, I love you. Papa will be home soon.
That was a great episode, by the way.
Oh my God, they're coming back on episode 21. My girls are coming back, so please stay tuned and come join us. Episode 21 with my girls back on the studio. I promised them, and they're every time, Papa, we're coming. Yes, you're coming. So for a dad, right, for 4 beautiful daughters, I mean, it kills me. It kills me to see that these privileged women are using these children and they're manipulating them. And it's a shame, bro. It's a shame that our society, we have been so much tolerant that we're now allowing our children to be mutilated, and we're not doing nothing about it, bro. These doctors are performing these illegal surgeries that today they're saying is legal, but it's not legal, bro. One day this is gonna all blow up like the Diddy thing blew up, like the Epstein thing blew up. This is gonna blow up, bro. And who's paying for it? Our children. My children are safe, but I'm in the fight for all children. You understand? I don't care if my school, I'm on the parent committee in my school. And we had the highest turnout. We had over 230 people, students, parents of students. You had to, when you had to vote, you had to put your student name and the parent name, right? 230 people got involved and voted to elect 4 members to be on the parent committee, right? I was one of them. So our school is very involved. The district knows we're involved. They don't want to have anything. But that's not enough for me, because I know down the street, this school is in trouble because they're introducing all this stuff to this school. And those children are going to one day be associated with my children. One is going to be a hairstylist. One is going to be a gardener. One is going to be an electrician. One is going to be a banker, right? You don't want these like mentally disturbed children associating with your children, because I don't care what planet you come from, you cannot turn into a cat. A man cannot get menstruated and get pregnant, and I'm sorry, Paisley, you cannot get no one pregnant. I'm sorry. So scratch that out of your list. It's not happening, you know, and we just get this straight, okay? If you have an XY chromosome, you will never get pregnant. I don't care if you cut it off, inject yourself, do whatever you want. You could be the most beautiful woman lookalike ever, but you will never have a baby. You can never breastfeed. You
Agreed.
never.
And you know what? Going back to Adam's point, this was the train of thought I lost. Going back to Adam's point, this can happen in any place. Don't ever think that your town is too small for it to happen to. Because when I left Sacramento, right after, I think it was a couple of years after that Gabriel Guy Natomas board meeting that I had spoke out about, we had decided to move north, and we moved to a small town of 3,000 people. Never in my wildest dreams did I think within the first 2 weeks of moving here that I would have one of my grandmother's neighbors reach out to her because she had seen me speak out at the Natomas school board meeting to immediately come and speak at the new school board meeting that my student wasn't even in yet. And of course I did. I will gladly, if you want me to speak at your board meeting, go ahead and give me a ring. I will definitely go and speak. So I go and I find out what was going on at the school. Found out that one of the high school teachers was doing mock gay weddings at the school under the principal's approval. That did not sit okay with me. I was not going to let my son be raised in a town of 3,000 people who were allowing gay weddings to happen at school and not tell the parents. So I showed up to the board meeting. Only one other person spoke out about this, which was one of the cheer coaches. No surprise, right? Protecting the girls. And me coming in as a complete stranger, nobody knew who I was, and gave almost an identical speech to what I did in Natomas, except for I directed it more towards what the topic was, which was them keeping secrets from parents and doing gay weddings for children that they have no business doing.
No.
And I was scoffed at by staff that was running the board meeting. I was muted for a second. There was plenty of things. And then right after I had done that board meeting and spoke out, the local county government had legally silenced me so I could not speak out about it on Instagram. And so to this day, I still get a lot of looks, and I know that people know who I am and what I was speaking about, and I'm more than okay with that. And that is why my child is home, and that's why I stay focused on his schooling. And I recently went and applied at the school district, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens, but they're not going to like it if I'm working in there.
No, but I think it's good for your son that he's being homeschooled. We can't, not saying all teachers are bad, but we just can't. At this point, we can't trust the schools. We can't trust the schools.
Right.
And then with you getting dirty looks, that means you did something right.
Exactly. I ruffled some feathers, and I'm more than okay with that. Just know you're on watch.
That's right. That's right. Did you see that? I don't know. Going back to speaking at school board meetings, that pastor just got arrested. Did you see that? I don't know how old the video is. I'm probably going to slaughter the man's name, but Pastor Amachuco. I
haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, he was basically speaking at a school board, talking about the all these really sexualized books. The school board basically said, "Don't read that here. That's not appropriate." He said, well, it's in the school districts. Long story short, the next video is him being escorted out of the school board meeting. He's a pastor in handcuffs, and he was arrested for speaking out.
You know, I saw that video. I respect that man, pastor. But something happened that kind of broke my heart.
What was that?
At the end, somewhere in the middle or something, he was trying to not get arrested. Mm-hmm. He was like, you know what? If you let me go, I'll just go. I'm not even tripping. I'll go do my thing somewhere else. I was like, no, bro, just get arrested. Get arrested. It's important you get arrested at situations like that, because that's just to show that you were not doing nothing. Right. What were you doing? Just doing nothing. Yeah. And you getting arrested. That's this is. But I think that he didn't get arrested. I think they let him go. He doesn't show all the way, but I think he was talking like, hey, just let me go. Because I understand you don't want that arrest sheet on your record. Right. But the parents did you hear some parents when they robbed that Hollywood 7-Eleven or something, the bicycle kids.
Oh, turn their kids in.
Yeah, they
Yes.
turned their kids into the station, and I was like, what a parent has to go through. Like, hey, I want you to have a criminal record. Like, what frustration they're going through. So again, I go back, Paige, I'm sorry, but I do go back to where if you didn't behave, you would know that your dad might come home and your mom might get the chancla or something. I mean, I'm not saying abuse or do nothing to your children, but I'm saying because we got rid of all this roughness, we got rid of all this bullying. I'm not with bullying. I'm against bullying. I always have been. I always got hurt because I was protecting the innocent. You know what I'm saying? But all these minor things affected our community. And today we are at this point, we got this feminist man where if you're a masculine man, then you're a threat to this society. Are you serious, bro?
Right.
Like, seriously, you know, like, our show is about to come to an end. We're almost there. I don't like Instagram shutting down on us, and I don't like Christian looking at me like, hurry up, turning red. Oh, by the way, Christian is still handsome and fairly single. If you guys are interested, hit us up, DM me, and I'll give you his info.
A little promotion there.
Paige,
Love it.
sweetheart, any final words?
All I'm going to say to you guys is keep your children close. Cherish every moment that you have with family. Do not let politics divide you. I have lived that firsthand, and I'm so glad to hear from my family again coming around that corner. If there's anything you can do, even if it's used clothes, extra candles, extra pillows, even your decor, you know, little things, just anything you have a little extra that you can donate, extra sheets, extra towels. If you can donate even those things to the East Coast, that would be fantastic. If you can't, I understand. But keep God close. Keep him in your heart, because right now that is the only person, along with each other, who is going to save this country.
Yeah.
Amen.
And thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on. Adam, final words?
Final words. I think I'll just go back to bring back the dinner table. You're going to learn a lot from your family, a lot from your kids with bringing back the dinner table. Turn off the cell phones. And
Say grace.
Yes. Thank you, Paisley. Say grace. And I think just pray for our country. We are in some bad times right now, and the writing's on the wall. But on a positive note, bring back the dinner table. October 23rd is the candlelight vigil, and if you're in Denver, come say hello for the Stop the War on Kids rally. Thank you, Manuk, for having me on.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Paisley, it's always good to see you.
Always a pleasure with both of you.
Thank you for coming on. October 23rd, people, it's happening all across California. My boy mentioned it, and he'll share me, and I'll repost. If you're in Pasadena area or Antelope Valley area, I know they're having something over there as well. My girl Jess with Antelope Valley Parents for Education. October 12th, we're going to have a telethon to raise money for rehab center for all these children who are found by smuggling and all this stuff. Be active with your children. Stay close to your children. Constantly tell them that you love them. Be in their ears, be in their heads, be in their eyes. Do everything you need to do. Make sure they know that they're loved and they're accepted the way they are. We had town boys back in the days. They were still accepted the way they are. They grew out of it, and they became the women and the tough person they are. I'm not saying it's wrong to be gay or lesbian. I'm just saying it's wrong when you come and do that stuff in front of children. I am against, 100% against to all sexual explicit content that is being introduced in our school. Doesn't matter if you're in elementary or middle school or high school. God bless Hammerlock, Rock and Roll, Travis and Liz for driving from Sacramento all the way to Vegas just to speak in their grandchildren's school district board meeting. More parents should be active because it's harming your children. If it could happen to Elon Musk's son, it could happen to your son. It's happening to Adam Vina's son, and another man in Buffalo is about to get his son's.
His daughter.
His daughter.
His daughter is about to start her second Lupron shot, and they have.
And then you have the other guy who has his son's thing is about to get caught when he's 11 years old or something, right?
Yeah, we have Jeff out of Texas.
Two different people,
and mothers.
And women, if you hate your man and if you're getting a divorce, please don't take it out on the kids. No. Don't get this grudge. Don't punish him because of his kids, to the kids. Do whatever, like punish him. Go, I don't know, do something. Just don't touch the kids. Right. That's why I have a specific T-shirt. It says, leave our kids alone. Leave them alone. Stay out of the kids' lives, and let's remember the 325,000 children who have been lost. October 23rd, it's happening all across the United States. Paisley, I love you. I respect you. You're my girl. I will do whatever it takes to be there and help you out. Anything you ever need. Thank you for letting us coming out on the show and giving us your input. Say hi to my boy. We respect him. And God bless your children. And thank you for joining us, Adam. Same to you.
Thank you,
good luck with your case coming up with your son. There's a lot to talk about. We'll have the opportunity. With that said, everybody, I love you guys. Please remember to follow and subscribe to Red Angeles on YouTube. Manuk Gri _Loka and Loka, all capital letters, LOKA _818 on YouTube. Paisley, your Instagram, if you want people to follow you, please.
You can go ahead and follow me on paisley.liberty or cpaisley.liberty. Either page, I have to keep multiple.
And you, Adam?
You can just follow me at Adam Vina, Adam.Vina, VENA on Instagram. That's where I do most of my posting.
Stay tuned for next week. We got a very special guest. It's going to be hot topics. Stay tuned. Friday night at 9 p.m. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Have a great one.
Thank you. Have a good night. Good night, everybody.